Now let's turn to Africa, to West Africa, where a diplomatic row is escalating between the nations of Niger and Benin. The two neighbors have been at odds for weeks over an oil pipeline which promises to bring much-needed funds to Niger. The pipeline ends at a port in Benin called Niamey. Oil from Niger will flow into Benin and get loaded into ships from the Niamey port. Now, this means Niger is totally dependent on Benin for its oil exports. If Benin decides to shut off the pipeline, Niger cannot do very much about it. And this is exactly what happened last month, sparking the latest row. But now it has escalated. Reports say that Benin has arrested 5 people from Niger. They've been accused of entering the port of Niamey illegally, using fake documents. Benin says that 2 of these 5 arrested are agents working for the Niger junta, the military junta that has controlled the country since last July. Niger has denied this. Instead, it has accused Benin of kidnapping. Niger says that the 5 people were working for one of its oil companies who were just inspecting oil shipments at the port. Both countries are now trading accusations. But why are they at loggerheads in the first place? Why are there tensions over this oil pipeline? To understand this, we need to look at the events from last year. At last July's coup in Niger, Niger's military deposed the country's president, Mohamed Bazoum, and this sent a shockwave across the region. It was the 6th successful coup in West Africa since 2020. The 6th coup. The democracies in the region were getting worried that they might be next. So they took a tough stance against Niger. Benin wanted to reverse the coup. It supported a military intervention. So obviously Niger responded. It closed its border with Benin to avoid getting invaded. And the border has been closed ever since, which has affected Benin's economy. The coastal nation has always been a conduit for trade, but the trade route has been closed for months. Instead, Niger has chosen to import goods via other countries. Benin wants to undo this, so it has been applying pressure via the oil pipeline. Because while land trade can be rerouted, Niger cannot do much about its oil pipeline. The pipeline connects Niger's oil-rich Agadem region to Niamey. And it has the potential to bring millions to the landlocked country. Presently, Niger's oil output is about 20,000 barrels per day. The pipeline could allow it to expand this to 90,000 a day or more. That means Niger has the chance to increase its oil revenue 5-fold. It was one of the poorest nations in the world before the coup. After the junta took over, the economy is still recovering. The oil pipeline revenue would help them. But Benin wants something in return. In exchange for allowing the pipeline to run, Benin wants Niger to reopen their shared land border. It wants the land trade between the two countries to resume. Niger still has not allowed this, even though the post-coup hostilities have reduced. And why is that? Because Niger is wary. The junta has not forgotten that Benin wanted to intervene militarily when the coup took place. Niger is still concerned about a possible intervention, which is why it wants to keep the land border shut. And that is the whole dispute. The countries are trying to resolve it, but so far there's been no resolution in sight. Amid these discussions, Benin has arrested 5 people from Niger. This could be the latest pressure tactic, a way to force Niger to open the border, because it seems the oil exports will keep getting affected till that happens. But even if this tactic works, it won't reduce hostilities, and it's not the way back to cordial neighborly relations.
Firstpost reports from the world's 2nd largest continent. Hello, I'm Alison Lagrange. A very warm welcome from Durban, South Africa. We get you the news and the newsmakers from Africa. From elections to climate change to innovations and opportunities. As the world's attention shifts, we report from Africa, the heart of the global South. Join me every weekday live on Firstpost.